Hello people, welcome back to Beauty Jam. Today I'm going to be talking about my holiday. Now, I know that this holiday topic seems to have gone on forever and it was like over a month since I went, but I've had so many videos to I wanted to upload Queen review, I wanted to upload the monthly favourites obviously, so it's just kind of been pushed to the back burner, but I wanted to do this video. I was going to talk about this in my holiday purchases video, but I felt like I'd already gone on too long about David Guetta, and I'd already gone on. I just didn't feel it was appropriate for a purchases video, you know. So this is just going to be kind of like holiday stories from the last holiday that I had. A few moans basically. The first moan that I had, I did say that I had a night flight. Yeah, we went at night. We left about 7 PM, 7:30 maybe. I forgot now. It's been over a month, guys. But we arrived at Birmingham Airport about 8 PM, which is plenty of time before your flight at 10, right? We went through security, everything was pretty much fine. I got in a bit of a confusion as to whether I could take my plastic bottle or not, because they don't actually specify. Because what the issue was, I know you can't take liquid, but I had an empty plastic bottle. So I was kind of confused as to whether I could take this or not, but then the woman said I could, so I was all good. So if you have an empty plastic bottle, you can take it through. You just can't take any liquid in it, which is all good. Right, so basically got through security, everything was fine, I was in duty free, blah blah blah. Oh, duty free had this gorgeous hand lotion. Oh, I tried this hand lotion, it was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, the tube cost about £40, so I wasn't about to buy that. That was duty free as well, but it was gorgeous, that hand lotion was. I kept going back for more. But anyway, carrying on with the story. We got into duty free, went around some other shops, and me and my nan sat down. She was reading the paper and I don't know what I was doing. I was just sitting there observing people because I wanted to go on my phone to use the internet, but I only had so many gigabytes, so I didn't want to at the same time. So I just kind of sat there and people watched, and we only had half an hour till the flight anyway, because this was about 9:30, so we were good. Then it gets announced that our flight is delayed, which I don't mind as much, until they said it was delayed for 3 hours and that our flight was now 2 in the morning. So that's 4 hours, 4-hour delay. So we have to sit there in duty free for 4 hours doing absolutely nothing, which means we had even more of a night flight than the original night flight. So that wasn't very good, but I was okay with it because I just think, you know what, it happens, you know, it happens. So yeah, then all the shops started to close at midnight because they don't stay open. The only thing that was open was duty free. I had an empty bottle, I didn't have no liquid, but what I did was one of my cousins had a KFC, and with KFC you get a cup and you get to refill at the airport. I don't use, not KFC, Burger King, sorry Burger King. I don't go to Burger King, we don't really have one around by us, so I don't really know how it all works, but you can refill your cup, which I thought was a great idea. And my cousin said he was done with his cup and he didn't want no more drink. So what me and my nan did, because my nan didn't have a drink either, what me and my nan did, because we're cheap, he'd been drinking out of like the straw and the plastic thing. We took the plastic thing and the straw off and we used the cup to refill and then put in our water bottles. And there was all as you could see was me and my nan walking to and from Burger King every 5 minutes just with a cup. But we weren't cheating, guys, because we were using the cup that was my cousin's and he could have gone back and got more. So we weren't cheating whatsoever. So that was a little story. Yeah, stuck in duty free after a while. So we filled our bottles up. We also filled the cup up, and my nan had that. And then we finally got on the plane at 2. We took off at 2:30 in the morning. I did not get a wink of sleep because I can't sleep on planes. They are too loud. And I can't even listen to my flipping music because the plane is too flipping loud to hear anything. So yeah, I was going to take my Bluetooth headphones, but I didn't because I thought maybe they wouldn't let them on the plane because they're Bluetooth. So I didn't risk it. But if anyone could let me know in the comments below, do they let you take Bluetooth headphones, like AirPods? Because I'm just thinking, with there being Bluetooth, like maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. But I didn't anyway. I took my little cheap Poundland ones, and yeah, let's just say I couldn't hear a flipping thing through the headphones because the plane too flipping loud. So anyway, it's a 2.5-hour flight. We arrive in Ibiza for about 5 a.m. About it's about 5 a.m. We get off. We realised the reason that the flight was delayed was because there are strikes going on at the Ibiza airport. So that's why the flight was delayed. We go to baggage claim, we collect our luggage, everything's fine. We go outside to get to the coach, and the heat immediately hits you. And I kid you not, it was 5 o'clock in the morning and I was sweating already. And I think the reason was because I was still in my Britain clothes. I was still in the jumper and the hoodie and the trousers and the trainers. Like, I was still in all my Britain clothes. Yeah, which obviously over there isn't a good idea. So I was sweating. I actually got hungry. But I don't normally eat at 5 a.m, so I am not eating now, you know? So I left it. We got to the hotel. That was about a 50-minute coach ride, which just made me feel incredibly queasy because I get really queasy in coaches. I was having several heart attacks because we are now driving on the right and not on the left, and I can never get used to that. So whenever he comes to a roundabout and he's going the wrong way, I'm flipping like there's no one else panicking. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah. So yeah, we get to the hotel. This is where the moaning comes in, right, guys? You know I'm British, I have to moan about stuff. We get to the hotel. It's 6 a.m, right? Roundabout, about 10 to 6. Yeah. No, actually, yeah. Yeah, it's about 6 a.m, right? And we go to hotel, we check in, takes a long time. We ask them, is it possible if we could have a glass of water? Because obviously we've been travelling, our flight was 4 hours delayed, and you know, blah blah blah, we haven't had a drink for ages, and they say no. They declined us water. Is this against my human rights? Because if it is, I'm flipping suing. Because honestly, I couldn't believe it. I was like, if we were asking for like Coke or lemonade or Tango or something like that, then I'd totally get it. It'd be like, no, you're not going to have Coke at this time in the morning. Like, you know, we were asking for water and they said no. Flipping. Yeah. So I already was in a bad mood because I haven't had a wink of sleep. Now I'm in even more of a bad mood because they declined me a glass of water. Yeah. Anyway. It then comes round to the bit where they ask us to pay tax. Travel tax, whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. But you have to pay tax when you go abroad anyway. Last year it was €7, so it was €1 a night. The year before that, when I went to Spain, the mainland Spain, it was €1 a night, which is €7. And you have to pay it before your holiday, so it's done and dusted, right? I received the tax bill. It's €15, 40 odd cent. And I was like, excuse me? But I paid it because it's 6 o'clock in the flipping morning. I'm not about to stand here and try and argue in English and Spanish. Do you know what I mean? So I paid it. And I just thought to myself, perhaps they put the tax up. Like, perhaps it's just gone up over the past year. You know, perhaps it's like, that's why it's double now. You know, it's €2 a night. They've just put the tax up. Whatever, you know? So I just paid it, done, dusted. Bearing in mind I only took €40 with me, that was pretty much half of my money gone on tax because I was only expecting to pay 7 of the things. Anyway, got to my room. It's about 20 past 6 in the morning. I haven't had any sleep. Plus Spain, Ibiza is an hour ahead, so my body is still thinking that it's 5 a.m. Like, what the flip are we doing? Yeah, I put my card in the door. Doesn't work. So I have to go all the way back to flipping reception, which, can I just add, is a totally separate building to where my room is because I'm in building number 2. So I have to go down the flipping stairs with my case, go back outside, walk across the courtyard, by the pool where people are already up in their bikinis putting their towels out for the day, and here's me flipping British clothes waddling across the blooming court thing with my case to the reception to tell them that my card doesn't work. Turns out they hadn't reset it from the previous person. Like, my flight was 4 hours delayed and you didn't reset the card? Like, what? I just want to go to bed. Like, please. So, yeah, that's what happened when I first got there. Wasn't happy already. And you know what? The thing is, when I first researched this hotel, I already saw a load of bad reviews on Yelp. So I was already kind of aware, but I didn't listen because I just thought maybe these people are just like the odd few who've had a bad experiences, but there's probably thousands of people who've had good experiences that just haven't left a review because it was... when you have a good experience of something, you don't think of leaving a review, do you? You only think of leaving a review when it's bad. So I was thinking maybe that's what it is. No, definitely not. These people were right. And I should have listened. Yeah. So that happened. Went to bed. Flipping got up at 8 a.m. Had to deal with all the kids running around breakfast. But I didn't mind because I just thought at least I've had 1 hour sleep. And then obviously by the sunbed I slept all day. Everything was fine. Going on about breakfast. Now breakfast, you expect croissants, you expect cereal, you expect yogurts, and you expect fruit, and then the English breakfast. Now that's fine. I'm not going to include that in this. But every day, lunchtime, dinner time, the food was pretty much the same. Sometimes they'd have different meats on, so one day it'd be beef, another day it'd be chicken, another day it'd be something else. Like they'd have different meat on, but the food itself was the same, which used to do my head in because I used to think, like I want different things, so that was a little irritation, not too much though, because you don't mind, at least I'm being fed, right, so that's just it. Yeah, anyway, I come to have a shower. And my nan had a shower before me because I like people to, when it comes to things like the toilet and stuff, I like them to go first. So if it's going to flip and eat me, it'll eat them first, you know what I mean? So my nan had a shower before me and blah blah blah. Plus it takes my nan longer, so it makes sense, So while she's drying her hair and stuff, I can be having a shower, even though it would flipping take me forever. But I just sit outside and let it dry, so it just makes sense. So anyway, I go in the shower. My nan's already had her shower. She used the first towel. I had my own towel, which was the second towel. They only give you 2 towels because there's only 2 people in the room, which makes sense. I pick up my towel, my body towel, after I've turned the shower off. And just before I step out of the bath, I like to kind of dry so that I'm not dripping everywhere, So, yes, so I grab my towel and I kind of shake it out because it's all folded up neatly, and I just kind of put it here, ready to kind of wrap around me, and it absolutely stinks of vomit. I kid you not, I just held it like this, looked for stains. There was no stains on it, it hadn't been used, like you could tell, it was clean, but it just stunk, and I don't know why, and I refused to use it. I just said I'm not using that towel, so I used the hand towel, which was so flipping awkward. But yeah, I think perhaps what had happened is maybe someone had been sick. They used a towel to clean it up, put the towel in the wash, and and blah blah blah. So it had been washed, and then they put it in with the new towels. But sometimes when you clean something up like sick, the smell lingers, and sometimes you either have to discard of the item or you have to wash it more than once, and I don't think they washed it more than once. So yeah, I went back in the shower body washed again, and then used the hand towel. Yeah, so that was another complaint. I told my nan about it as well, and she pulled a face. And then she smelt her towel and her towel was fine. So I do genuinely think it was just my towel, and perhaps it was just, I don't know. But yeah, that was another complaint. Never doing that again. Another thing which I didn't like was these people who have like a load of bags and a load of purses and they've got all watches up their arms, they're trying to sell you things. I don't mind, because I get that it's a business for them and that's their livelihood and blah blah blah, whatever, like I don't mind, but that's something I expect when I am walking out and about in the street, or I'm not on the hotel premises, just put it that way. Yeah, this hotel lets the sellers come onto the premises and sell you things, which I don't agree with, to be honest. I think it's very dangerous. There are children around. You never know what these men are. I'm not going to say that is, but that's a purpose, Like, the children are supposed to feel safe when they're on your hotel premises, and the only other people there are either staff or people in other rooms. I understand that people in other rooms can be just as bad, but I'm just saying, I don't think you should let strangers come onto your hotel premises and try and sell people things, especially when I'm sitting there trying to enjoy the entertainment and all I get is this flipping guy asking me if I want this bag, and I'm like, no, I don't want the flipping bag, I don't want the watch, I don't want the shoes, I don't want nothing, I don't want a purse, I've got enough, So it just annoys me, and I don't know why. Perhaps it's because I'm an introvert and it's like, please don't talk to me, and you just know that they're going to, so then you've got that dread whilst they're going to everyone else knowing that they're going to come to you. So then you're kind of timing, and when you get up for a drink, when they get close to your table, it's just so annoying. And I don't want to think about things like that when I'm on holiday. Like, I don't want to be having this anxiety and stress that this guy's going to come up to my table, so I've got a time when I go and get my next drink. Do you know what I mean? So that was a flipping moan. But I don't agree with sellers being allowed on the hotel premises, no matter what hotel, even a UK one, right? The next flipping thing isn't technically the hotel's fault, but it technically is as well. During the night, I could never really get to sleep, and the reason is because the neighbour next to us, I don't know which side, it might have even been above, it weren't, I don't know how to explain it, it just sounded like dragging furniture. You drag furniture across the floor, and I'm not just talking little drags, I'm talking like from one end of the room to another, and I'm thinking, are they rearranging the room? Do you know what I mean? And then I thought, maybe it's just this one night, maybe they just want to, because the beds are kind of pushed together, and I thought, if someone's come in from their flight or whatever and they're not together, so they want to separate the beds into two singles, so they're just dragging the furniture, fair enough, do you know what I mean? So I just thought, let them do their thing, let them rearrange the room, it'll be over in like 15 minutes hopefully, and everything will be happy, It was every night, dragging furniture from one end of the room to another, every night. And I don't even know what happened. The toilet kept flushing on its own, not our toilet, theirs. It kept being flushed every 5 minutes, and because I think it was the people above, because they're above us, we can hear it, and it just flipping did my head in. Like, just imagine lying there, you're trying to get to sleep, and all you can hear is flipping furniture moving and being dragged across the floor from one end of the room to the other, and the toilet flushing every 5 minutes. Like, honestly, it's flipping annoying. And then midweek we get this couple, I think, this family, it's not a couple, it's like a family, we get them moving into that room, and they were just constantly arguing all the time in Spanish, but you can kind of tell, can't you? I can't really speak Spanish, but I can pick up on little words, and you can kind of tell by just someone's vibe when they're angry or not, and this woman was just flipping angry all the time. I don't know why, but she was just constantly shouting, even at 2 a.m. I'm just like, it's blooming 2 a.m, what are you doing? I've got a dragging furniture, I've got a flushing toilet, and I've got a flipping arguing woman. Like, this is what I was like, honestly. Just did my flipping head in. Anyway, on to the last moan, guys. We're getting there. So, at the end of your holiday, our flight was actually at 3 a.m. to come back Saturday morning. Yeah, that was bad. 3 a.m. So we had the coach was picking us up at 12:30, I think. 12:30. So midnight we were being picked up, and our flight was at 3, which is fine, right? you have to be out of your room by midday, the day that you leave. Now, I totally get that. If you are leaving at 6 a.m, if you're leaving at 6 p.m. or something like that, and you've only got a couple of hours, you know, it's fair enough. It's like, okay, yeah, because I'm leaving at 3 anyway because my flight's at 6, you know, so whatever. But when your flight is at 3 a.m. the next day and they want you out of your room by 12, I went 12 hours without a room, without anywhere to stay, without anywhere to change, nothing. So I was like, flip me, right? Because I thought it'd be okay because they'll expect us out before 12 a.m. on Saturday, right? 12 a.m, I mean 12 p.m. 12 a.m, yeah. No, 12 p.m. It is 12 p.m. I thought they'll expect us out of the midday, let's say. They'll expect us out the room midday Saturday because that's the day we're leaving. We're leaving on a Saturday, right? But oh no, they wanted us out the room by midday Friday, which means I went without a room for 12 hours. I had nowhere to sleep. I had nowhere to get changed. I had nowhere to flip and go. I had to sit with my case. It was just dreadful, guys. What they did offer was a shower room that you could go and freshen yourself up in and get changed in. So at least I did have somewhere to change. That's a lie. I did have somewhere to change. But you had to wait for the key. And because there were so many other people who were also leaving, you could never flip and get it. But when we did get the key, finally, I went down into the shower room and it's just dingy. It reminded me of like a prison toilet shower thing. It was just one of them. There was just empty bottles and empty bags left everywhere from previous people because they don't want to take that back home with them, so they just left it there. There was puddles everywhere and I just didn't like it, man. It was just horrible. Horrible. And it reminded me of like a prison shower toilet thing. Dreadful. So I didn't like that. And then you had to sit with your case for, honestly, just the last day of your holiday isn't supposed to be spent like that, you know. So that was the last thing I had to moan about. And then we got on the flight. The flight wasn't delayed, thankfully. We got back home and I went straight to bed at 6 a.m. once again. Yeah. Round about, or was it 7? It might have been about 7. Honestly, guys, I don't know. It was a good holiday, like I had fun, but just the hotel I didn't like. Like I don't like that hotel. I don't think they run it right. The room itself was okay, you know, you've got everything you needed apart from a fridge. Oh, that's another thing, we didn't have a fridge. You had to pay for the safe, you had to pay €70 for the internet, you had to pay €50 for the safe. I just think it was all just money grabbing and things like that, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the hotel. I will not be going back to that hotel again. No chance. And I would say that that's probably the worst holiday hotel-wise that I've ever been on, you know. Ibiza itself was great, David Guetta was great, you know, things like that, they were great, but the hotel, no chance. Thompson, which was who we flew with, they said it was a 4-star hotel, but when we got there, the hotel said it was 3. Never go 3-star or below, right, guys? Because this is what you get. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video because I've been talking too long. Oh, and when I got home, I googled whether Spain had upped the tax, and they hadn't. It was the hotel that wanted more money. So the hotel gave the tax to the Spanish authorities probably, and then they kept the other €7 for themselves, which is great. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more videos from me, and make sure you check out my other videos because I've had loads now. And I will see you next time. Bye!